Right? So that's what the reality is, but she doesn't know anything and she's commenting on politics, which is what frustrates me so much. So she has the 200,000 subscribers, which is great, right? And they're following her for makeup advice. And then every once in a while it's like, boo, here's a political video. Here are my thoughts on politics. And I don't want impressionable young people to think that what she's saying is real because it's misinformation. It's bullshit. So that's my problem with her.
Unfortunately, but
because I just when she comes at you with that, look, I'm going to tell you what the reality is, okay? Look it up. Yeah, that's what we do for our careers. So we have looked it up and we know what the reality is. You do makeup, okay? And that doesn't mean that you can't comment on politics. Just make sure you do your research before you comment on it. And when people criticize you for not knowing what you're talking about, don't whine about it. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. All right. I can't tell you how angry that 911 call makes me. Robert McFarlane can go suck it, okay? Because, listen to me. She said, what the fuck, because no one was answering the phone, right? And who cares if she said, what the fuck? You know, as someone who is a 911 dispatcher, someone who's taking that 911 call, you need to be responsible enough to listen to what the person is saying, send the ambulance, and then if you have a problem with the woman's language, all right, address it then. But it wasn't like she was this crazy, like, it's not like she answered the phone and was like, ah, what the fuck, I'm gonna fucking kill you. No, she didn't say anything like that. And in fact, I hate when he starts complaining about how he didn't get the address and he didn't get to find out what the situation was because she was being hostile.
He couldn't get through her comments.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
Spare me any of your bullshit concerns about human life. Because if you're concerned about human life whatsoever, you would be concerned about the needy women who have to go to these clinics to get their reproductive health, to get their cancer screenings, their HIV screenings. You don't care about life at all. You're just a moron who listens to what Fox News spews and you just believe it and go off and do violent things like this. And how many times have we done these stories about these clinics being firebombed, being put on fire? It's ridiculous. No one's talking about it, and it continues to happen, and O'Reilly is part of the problem by having a moron like Lila Rose on his program. I'm sorry, I'm just sick of this shit. Because people are being hurt by it, disadvantaged women are being affected by it, and nothing is happening.
Between September 11th and today, do you know how many stories they've run on Jesus? About 88, okay?
Billy Graham on the cover.
Okay, Billy Graham, Jesus, Paro, whatever. Religion, we love you, evangelicals. You know when Jesus died? 2,000 years ago. No, how many cover stories have they run on Saddam Hussein was not personally responsible for 9/11? Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. How many cover stories? Zero. Not one. Zero. Newsweek, none. Time, none. All these newspapers, these magazines, the television. You turn on, when's the last time? Blaring headline. Saddam Hussein, nothing to do with 9/11. Saddam Hussein, nothing to do with 9/11. They don't do it. Why do you think these people have this mistaken assumption? I know.
Why don't you just write into their platform, we'd like to make everybody in Texas as stupid as possible so they can keep voting Republican? Who says that we shouldn't teach the kids to think critically? Who says that? I mean, you might whisper it, like, oh God, wouldn't it be great if everybody in Texas was as dumb as we are and then everybody would be Republicans? You might whisper that, right? But you're going to actually say it in public? You're going to write it down on your platform? No, we don't want anybody to question any beliefs. No, bow your head and listen to authority. Don't start thinking it for yourself or anything like that. In America, this is what you think is the right thing to do in America. The Republican Party is a national embarrassment. How can anybody vote for this? How can anybody say, oh, yeah, let's take away voting rights from blacks and Latinos? Just go back to the old days when we were running them over and it was just whites that were voting, and we were trying to make it as hard as possible for them to vote. And that was great. And by the way, let's make sure that our kids don't think at all, and then they don't get a decent education, so they just bow their heads and have fixed beliefs that you can't change.
I'm so sick of people's religion, man. I'm so sick of it. And constantly, no, you have to do my religion. You have to do my religion. Fuck off. Why do I have to do your religion? I don't believe your religion. I don't believe it. Get it through your thick skull. I don't give a shit about it. I don't care if it's fundamentalist Christianity, fundamentalist Islam, fundamentalist anything. It's voodoo. I don't give a shit. You're not going to run my life based on your dumbass beliefs. If you come with logic and reason, and we have a conversation about, hey, okay, here's a reasonable basis for this law. Okay, fine, then we talk about it. But if you come to me, my sky god, I think, 2,000 years ago, told a fucking bush, and he talked to fucking Moses, and then he said, well, there is a seed in your body, and then some dumbass pope interpreted that 1,500 years ago as saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this or that, and hence, I'm going to let your wife die. Fuck you. Fundamentalist bullshit.
Bush says he's made America safe.
That's where I
That's the headline.
Well, okay,
James,
you're talking about one
within
story.
the article are never goddamn mentioned in the goddamn headline.
All right, you know, it's impossible to talk to you about
Because
something.
here, I'll show it to you.
You know,
Whoa.
I mean, USA Today. You're not talking about USA Today. You're talking about one.
Show the goddamn paper right here, okay?
What does that say,
USA
though,
safer, Bush says. Picture, headline, USA safer,
Bush
says.
Okay.
USA Today,
Go.
you suck balls. You are a terrible newspaper. You know what he did in that press conference yesterday and how we covered it? He lied over and over about how this is a war between Al-Qaeda and Iraq. It's not a war between Al-Qaeda and Iraq. It's a war between Shiites and Sunnis. Civil war that we're stuck in. And what does the USA Today incompetent loser say? USA safer, Bush says. That is a lie. They've done a terrible job. Every one of these editors in every major newspaper, in every major magazine, in every major television news organization should be fired today. 43% of Americans believe that Saddam Hussein was personally involved with 9/11. That is the worst failure of the mainstream press I have ever seen. Ever seen. And why do you think now 58% of Americans are opposed to the Iraq war? Do you know what that number would be if 43% of them didn't think Saddam Hussein did 9/11? That number would be like 3%. God damn it, they failed us. And if you're not angry about that, Michael, and any of you out there, then you're goddamn wrong, because you should be angry. Young Turks.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.